So how can you get into your first home with less than 20% deposit? Well, thankfully there are actually quite a few ways that you can do this, which is absolutely fabulous. Claire here from My Mortgage, and today I'm going to talk about low deposit requirements. So the first way that you can get into your first home is through the first home loan scheme with a 5% deposit, or anywhere between 5 and 20. The minimum is 5%. You do have to meet some certain criteria to fit the scheme, and the key one is income. So if you're a joint couple, you have to earn less than $150,000 in the previous 12 months. So that can actually sometimes be a little bit different if you've taken maternity leave or maybe if you've been returning from overseas. So definitely check with us as to whether or not you're eligible. And if you're an individual or a single person purchasing, you need to earn under $95,000. So that's obviously a little bit reduced for a single purchaser. The other key things is that you have to have been in your role or in a very similar role for the last 12 months. And that's a really particular piece that Kāinga Order are quite strict on. And lastly, you do have to use all your money. So if you have let's say you have a 5% deposit for a $500,000 property and you've got 30K in the bank, you can hold back a little bit, sometimes up to $5,000, but you can't hold back 10 or 20 to do renovations on a property or similar, so just something to keep in mind. The second way that you can buy with less than a 20% deposit is through exempt schemes. So essentially that's new builds. So a lot of banks will offer Reserve Bank exempt lending, which basically just means that you can borrow over 80% or have less than 20% deposit under that scheme if you are building a new home. And that is obviously still subject to things like income and debt, etc. The third way is every bank has a certain amount of lending that they're able to lend to first home buyers with less than a 20% deposit. So we kind of call this standard higher LVR or low deposit lending. Every bank has a small allocation and it just depends on the situation and on the timing as to whether or not you'll be eligible. So talk to us if that's you. So there are plenty of different ways that you can get into your first home with less than 20% deposit, and it's super important to get in touch with us because every bank treats this differently, and depending on your situation as to whether or not one of these three options could suit you best. Jump onto our website, mymortgage.co.nz, click on the Contact Us page and book a call with one of our advisors to talk through what might be best for you and your situation. Talk soon.